Good morning. My name is Chu, and today I'm going to present the Thesis exhibition with a special interest in exploring arts in social work practice. The next 10 minutes, I will present three parts. Firstly is the artifact, and then I will unpack in details with two evidences. But firstly, I'd like to do the acknowledgement of the country. I would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional land of the Muwinina and Palawa people of the Nipaluna Nation, and I pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. The first artifact that I'm going to present is this possum nest. This representing the whole journey with social work, first and foremost because of the core values. I believe that every life matters. The nest itself is done to provide shelter for injured animals due to bushfires or road accidents. But if we expand the concept into humanity services, I truly believe that everyone deserves to have a happy life, whether they're living with disability, mental illness, or disadvantaged living conditions. And as a social worker, that is the core values that I commit to support them during their journey. The colors of the nest has three colors, as you can see in the picture. It representing my personal experiences with career choice. I used to be a marketer, an art therapist, and now an emerging social worker. It also about three countries that I've been calling home. I was born and bred in Vietnam. I have 10 years in Singapore, and now I'm calling Australia my third home. The relevance with the social work would be about, I believe that every change that we foster with individual will becomes a ripple that creating a bigger impact into society, which is similar to how the micro, meso, and macro levels of social work represents. The nest is done by the tie stitches using multiple string crocheting technique. And to me, this means the collaborations. We collaborate with clients, other fellow social workers, government supporting system, and everyone in the society to make change. In the end, we can't do social work alone. The last point with this artifact is the nest is done using the recycled yarns, which represent my commitment to the green social work theories. I believe that there is no human rights and social justice could be done in a dying world. And therefore, as a social worker, I uphold sustainability and into the system theories. The first evidence I want to unpack here is the Green Crochet Community Project. I founded this program at Kickstarter at the very beginning of my social work degree, and the name Green Crochet itself is inspired by the green social work theory. We up to now, after 2 years, the group is still going strong, and we have 75 members as young as 8 years old and as old as 78 years old. Even though we're famous for doing bird nests of all kinds and joey pouches to the net for local carers like Bonorong or Mainland, we also responded to other social matters and humanity services. For example, Rock Up Tassie by ABC, we crocheted blankets for people experiencing homelessness or sent to elders in the nursing home or disadvantaged children through the Tassie Mums organizations. During the past 2 years, I've been learning and growing so much with the group, experiencing different theories into applications. For example, group works running, and I've been leading using the feminist leadership, in which I'm go with the flow and very flexible. I don't have any target of how many nests we will achieve after each season, or how quickly you will pick up crocheting, because everyone learn at their own pace. The outcomes of this program could be, by the end of this degree, I received the invitation by the Women's Health Tasmania to teach in their Knit Your Bits project, using textile arts. And this is the last point I want to make with this project. During art therapy program, I couldn't find the answer of why textile art is not considered as the fine arts disciplines. They teach painting, sculpture, and even photography has just been around 100 years, but there is no place for textile arts. But only with social work degree that I understand the feminist and feminism concept. It is because textile arts has, like embroidery, sewing, has been always been done by women who is voiceless in the society. And therefore the green crochet play another part in advocacy, in recruiting and promoting male participants in our community. And that is something I will continue to explore and push the boundary to make change. The next evidence I want to unpack is my 14 weeks placement with Reconnect. I worked as youth and family counselor, in which they usually use the CBT, cognitive behavioral materials and templates to support young people experiencing domestic violence. One of the cases that I led was the girl is 12 years old and she's having an estranged relationship with her mother due to the parents' divorce. Throughout the history, she was not engaging very well with the colleagues at Reconnect, and so far she didn't give the consent for us to work with her mom. So I come in and I also bring in the CBT materials with me. However, I see that she has an interest in using arts, and therefore I work with her using air dry clay and different other materials to be rapport. In one of the sessions, when she was playing with air dry clay and she added too much water, the session becomes very messy. And only then I asked her, like, do you want to continue or I can come in and help? And she asked for help. Therefore, I gave her a different kind of clay, which is non-messiness. And as I clean up the messiness of the air dry clay, I explained to her the concept of family dynamics could be messy like this one. However, we are trained counselor and workers, and we have the skill to help you to work with your family. And to my surprise, she opened up and gave me the consent to work with her mom. And from there, we collaborate to come up with some strategies on what kind of topics and wishes that she wanted me to help with her mom. By the end of my placement, I would call it an achievement that the mom even show an interest in having her staying with the mom full time instead of dad. There are a lot of theories for these interventions. For example, I embrace the strength based from myself, that I know the material in order to foster strength in the client on when and how she want me to help. It's aligned with advantage thinking philosophy by Colony 47s, and I've done so much research using arts in social work practice. It is an evidence-based practice developed by Dr. Huss, who is also an art therapist and a social worker. The recommendations I could do from this evidence is ethical boundary. I'm aware fully that I'm not doing art therapy on her, on the client, but rather it's an extra tool in which I can use whenever it's beneficial for my clients. In conclusion, these are the theories that I have presented, including system theories, green social work, and I hope that to explore further arts in social work practice with many more audiences. This I want to bring the artifacts again. The nest itself is developed through the spiral, and it's representing the reflective practice, and it's still unfinished because I'm an emerging social worker, still have some bits and pieces to perfect, but I'm ready to go. And yeah, wish me luck. Thank you.